not available at present.
So.
Please leave your message after.
Lyles fourth from the left-hand side. I'm surprised they could hear the gun. There was a massive roar in the stadium.
And he's out in 5, Hampton in 4.
The thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head.
The most anticipated sprint showdown in recent memory, Tyreek Hill versus Noah Lyles, has officially been called off, and the internet is losing its mind. For years, fans fantasized about the perfect collision of NFL speed and Olympic sprint dominance. On one side, Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins wide receiver nicknamed Cheetah, known for electrifying speed and viral clips that made him look untouchable. On the other, Noah Lyles, the reigning 200-meter world champion and Olympic medalist with a resume that screams elite. It wasn't just a fantasy. This race was reportedly deep in production, with Times Square locked in for an all-out spectacle. But just as excitement peaked, the whole thing collapsed. Official word? Personal reasons. The fans aren't buying it. Was this ever real? Was Hill actually ready? Or did something behind the scenes cause the race to fall apart? One thing is certain. The rivalry between Hill and Lyles is far from over, and what just happened has only added fuel to the fire. The idea of Tyreek Hill stepping on the track against an Olympic champion wasn't just hype. It was a sports culture moment in the making. Hill had long teased the idea that his NFL speed could translate to elite sprinting, even calling out track stars online and igniting heated debates across social media. It wasn't the first time a football player flirted with track. DK Metcalf famously tried the 100-meter in 2021, but Hill took things further, actively engaging in banter with Noah Lyles, who had no problem clapping back. This was more than a race. It was ego versus legacy, raw talent versus polished mastery. The drama snowballed for years until suddenly it looked like it might actually happen. From YouTube theorists to SportsCenter panels, the question became inescapable. Could the fastest man in football take down one of the fastest sprinters in the world? As both men leaned into the feud, fans picked sides, and the internet kept score. But the more real it got, the more pressure mounted. Then came the bombshell. In a low-profile meet in California, Tyreek Hill clocked a 10.15-second 100-meter dash. And suddenly, the narrative changed. Up until that moment, Hill was viewed more as a gimmick than a legitimate threat. But that time turned heads. Sure, it wasn't world-leading, but it was elite adjacent, especially for someone who hadn't trained seriously for track in nearly a decade. For context, Hill ran track in junior college and was an NCAA indoor All-American before fully committing to football. But now, out of nowhere, he was running a time that would make most professional sprinters nervous. More than that, he used the moment to throw shade, literally waving a Noah Lyles could never sign as he crossed the finish line. Social media exploded. Was this performance the real deal? Could Tyreek actually be competitive? Or was it just clever marketing wrapped in one flashy moment? Regardless, the 10.15 was enough to make people believe that this race might be more than just a gimmick. And that's when things got serious. When Noah Lyles finally addressed the race publicly, jaws dropped. Not only was the event real, it was close, very close, to happening. According to Lyles, the race was scheduled for the heart of New York City, with Times Square as the backdrop and massive billboards ready to light up with promotion. It wasn't a backyard exhibition. It was a fully produced sprint showdown that would have brought together fans of both football and track in a never-before-seen crossover. "We were all in," Lyles admitted. "We were shutting down the city." That level of commitment showed just how serious both sides had gotten. This wasn't two athletes talking smack for clicks. There was infrastructure, logistics, media rollouts. It was real. But just as quickly as the hype built, it disappeared. The plug was pulled, the lights dimmed, and fans were left confused. For many, Lyles' confirmation made the cancellation sting even more. It wasn't a missed opportunity. It was a dream deferred.
The official explanation? Personal reasons. But in the world of sports, those two words are loaded with mystery. What kind of personal issues are serious enough to cancel an event that was about to shut down Times Square? Noah Lyles didn't get into specifics, and neither did Tyreek. That silence only fueled speculation. Was it injury? A contract dispute? Sponsorship fallout? Scheduling chaos? Or was someone not actually ready to face the other? Rumors flew online, from fans claiming Hill got cold feet to theories that Lyles didn't want to risk an upset. There's no concrete answer, and maybe there never will be. But what we do know is that this wasn't a typical rescheduling story. It vanished overnight, and in its place came a flood of frustration, as fans realized they had been days away from witnessing a once-in-a-generation event. Even with hopes it might be revived, many are left wondering if the opportunity has passed, and whether the personal reasons were really just a smokescreen. Let's be real. Tyreek Hill isn't training like a professional sprinter. He's an NFL player, which means his workouts are built around short bursts, agility, and explosive power, not 100-meter perfection. So when he ran that 10:15, it wasn't just impressive, it was mind-blowing. Critics online were quick to remind him that high schoolers and college sprinters run faster, but that's missing the point. Those athletes have been training year-round for track. Tyreek's been catching touchdowns and dodging defenders, not working on block starts and race form. Yet he still showed up and dropped a time that many dedicated runners would kill for. What would happen if he actually dedicated 6 months to pure sprint training? Could he break 10 seconds? Could he challenge world-class athletes for real? The truth is, most people laughed when he talked about running track again. But now, even the haters are paying attention. Because when someone casually throws down a 10:15 without sprint-specific prep, you have to wonder, what's his actual ceiling? Let's say the 100 meters is off the table. Could Tyreek Hill actually take Noah Lyles in a shorter race? The 60 meters? Maybe even the 50 meters? It's a valid question. While Lyles is known for top-end speed and closing power, Tyreek's strength is in raw, explosive starts. His NFL burst is unmatched. If the race were shortened, that gap could close fast. In fact, when you break down Hill's 100-meter run, his first 30 to 40 meters were his strongest segment. So what happens if the race ends before Lyles can open up? Suddenly, the odds don't seem so lopsided. This isn't to say Tyreek is the better athlete overall, but it raises a real possibility that in the right format, with the right distance, Hill could pull an upset. That's what made this whole event so fascinating. It wasn't just about who's faster, it was about how speed translates across disciplines. Could a football star shock the track world in a sprint built for his strengths? We might never know. At first, the idea of Tyreek Hill racing Noah Lyles felt like a stunt, just another viral headline in the age of sports clickbait. But over time, it became something more. Hill backed up his talk with a legit 100-meter time. Lyles confirmed the event was happening. Times Square was being prepped. This wasn't a gimmick anymore. It was a potential turning point for both sports, a way to bridge two fan bases and test the limits of athleticism. Now, with the race canceled, we're left with questions, theories, and disappointment. But maybe there's still hope. Maybe this delay is just a pause before something even bigger. What's clear is that Hill proved he's no joke, and Lyles, despite his status, took the challenge seriously. The story's not over. If anything, this cancellation just made the rivalry even more intriguing, and the next time these two names are in the same headline, the world will be watching, closer than ever.